CBC Podcast.
The era is Reiwa, transcending countless ages. Our spirits remain here still. The battlefield is radio. Our weapons are words. We are the Nagoya Omotenashi Busho-tai. Ha! Hello there, everyone.
This program features warrior lords and foot soldiers connected to Nagoya, who have been revived after 400 years. We are the Nagoya Omotenashi Busho-tai. Through historical trivia and storytelling, we bring you the history of Japan in an entertaining way in this historical variety show. The name of our program is Breaking News. It seems the warriors have started a radio show in the modern world, or BushiRaji for short.
This time on BushiRaji from the Nagoya Omotenashi Busho-tai, I am Maeda Toshiie.
I am the one and only Kabukimono, Maeda Keiji.
The Jingasa Squad's Natsu brings this to you.
Long time no see.
That's right.
It's been about 3.5 years since we last came to CBC Radio. We, the Nagoya Omotenashi Busho-tai, will have our own program and engage in radio warfare to spread the appeal of the Sengoku period and Nagoya.
Yes, that is quite so.
We're trembling with excitement. We're fired up.
Absolutely. We are fired up and ready to go. Today's expedition consists of the Maeda family and approximately one Ashigaru.
Yes, about one person. This is Natsu from the Jingasa Squad.
Brought to you by complete strangers and family. Ha ha ha.
I do apologize for the intrusion.
I'd absolutely love for you to interfere even more. Ha ha ha.
That's absolutely right.
We warriors are all connected to Nagoya, but actually, the Ashigaru weren't born in a warrior Mikawa, you know?
Indeed, that is correct. I was born in Hizen Province in Kyushu, which is present-day Saga Prefecture.
Oh, well done, making it all the way here to Nagoya on foot.
Ha ha ha. That's right, indeed.
Indeed, that is so. I personally wish to serve Lord Toyotomi Hideyoshi of my own accord.
Is that so?
Yes, that is indeed so.
What do you think about this, Uncle?
What the heck?
So why didn't this foot soldier Natsu choose the Maeda family, you know?
Nagoya Castle is one of Japan's largest castles. And back then, Hideyoshi was decked out in golden attire. So he probably really caught people's attention.
That's absolutely right.
I do think the Maeda family would have been better, though.
Why?
We've been revived in this Reiwa era, but if you had to choose between Lord Toyotomi Hideyoshi or Lord Maeda Toshiie, which would it be?
Huh?
Well, if you ask her like that, she'll have no choice but to answer to us, right?
But setting that aside, for those living in this Reiwa era, I do hope they'll take a good look at how we samurai live our lives, and that it might bring some vitality to their daily existence.
Let's take on this radio thing for the first time in a while, shall we?
We're looking for Yabumi, that is messages of any kind. Recent happenings in your life, questions or concerns for us, anything goes. Send us emails through the contact form on our program website. We're also waiting for your posts on that thing called X. Add the hashtag BushiRaji and tweet away with your reactions and thoughts about the show. We await your Yabumi, dear listeners.
Very well then, everyone. Let us march forth. All right, here's our first segment.
What day is it today? This segment is a feature where we explore historical events and commemorative days that occurred in the past during the week from last Saturday through today.
So then, Natsu, were there any noteworthy dates this past week?
Yes, there we have it. First up, October 16th, 1572, the Battle of Futamata Castle. Next, October 15th, 1582, Lord Hashiba Hideyoshi conducted the funeral ceremony for Lord Oda Nobunaga. And then, October 14th, 1584, Lord Maeda Toshiie launched an attack on Torigo Castle. And finally, October 12th, 1658, Lord Maeda Toshitsune passed away.
A lot of different things happened this week, too.
In my mind, Lord Nobunaga's funeral was indeed quite a momentous event.
That's right, Daitokuji Temple. It was held at this grand, massive temple. But here's the thing about this funeral. Hideyoshi went ahead and conducted it on his own, without letting any of the Oda family members participate.
This became a huge problem, because he went and did it on his own.
Oh, that guy invited the whole bunch of court nobles and such. It was a battle that showed he was the successor to the Oda family. No, wait, not a battle. It was a funeral.
In a way, it was a battle within the Oda clan itself. But what's really remarkable is that the exact date of this this event has been preserved in history. As a result, Lord Hideyoshi succeeded Lord Nobunaga and became the ruler of Japan. Somehow we keep talking only about Lord Hideyoshi, don't we?
Since the Maeda family has gathered here, shall we talk about our affairs? We've got two stories to tell, after all. The attack on Torigo Castle was about recapturing the castle that had been taken from us by Sasa Naramasa during the Battle of Komaki and Nagakute.
So you're saying they reclaimed a castle that had once been taken from them?
Put real simply, it was a battle between comrades who had fought together in Oda's army. The Warring States period was a time when even allies might find themselves fighting each other the very next day. Frightening, isn't it, you who are listening? You might end up battling the person sitting right next to you tomorrow.
No. The people in this world are getting along just fine.
I don't know. They might be eating your lunch without permission, you know? It could all start with fighting over school meals.
I might end up crying.
You compared it to a small battle, didn't you? There's got to be more to it than that, right? Sports, warfare, something on that scale. We're talking about major events here. What I want to make known to everyone this time is the death of Maeda Toshitsune, which occurred on October 12th, 1658. Maeda Toshitsune is my son. He was the fourth son, and after I died, he inherited the Maeda family and built it up to great prosperity. What makes this fellow so important, you see, is that the Edo shogunate had already begun at that time. The thing is, the Maeda family were Tozama. Outsiders, in other words, which made them a fearsome presence from the Tokugawa's perspective. Under those circumstances, he skillfully ingratiated himself with the Tokugawa family to avoid having our house destroyed, maneuvering carefully to stay in their good graces. That sense of equilibrium, or balance, I suppose you could call it. Thanks to this, the Maeda family continued for over 260 years and remains in everyone's memory even today as a house of high standing.
In other words, Toshitsune is my nephew. He had a fine physique, you see. There were quite a few well-built men in the Maeda family, and uncle was over 6 shaku tall. That's over 180 centimeters, but Toshitsune was said to be comparable to that, with looks that were reminiscent of uncle. So his retainers were all excited, saying things like, "Our promising lord has arrived, and he might even surpass Lord Toshiie." Uncle was quite generous too, giving him precious swords and other treasures that he treasured, even though the boy was still young. Everyone thought, this kid's really something special. Uncle probably had pretty high expectations for him too. But you know what? Uncle died right away. They barely had any chance to spend time together.
I met him just once, only one time.
Despite being your own son only once?
You couldn't even imagine it if you're from this world, could you?
We Ashigaru can't even begin to fathom such things.
You see, Toshitsune was a child born to me in my old age, and on top of that, I was so busy serving the Toyotomi family that I rarely came home. So I was always working, which meant I could hardly ever see Toshitsune.
Ever since Uncle passed away, I've been keeping track of Toshitsune's movements, you know, because I lived such a long life. I lived to be 71 years old.
That's a long life.
I'm a long-lived fellow from the Warring States period, but do you listeners know what the final battle of that era was? There was this massive domestic conflict called the Siege of Osaka, and Toshitsune went into battle with an army of 20,000 men.
20,000 men.
He challenged Hideyoshi-sama's Toyotomi forces in battle, but he had also formed a marriage alliance with Tokugawa-sama. So they were family, you see. The Tokugawa and Maeda clans, that is. Since Tokugawa-sama held the highest position, he was the one giving orders. At that time, he was leading an army of 20,000 men, so he was entrusted with a crucial position. Well, naturally, because there were so many troops around, the people around him were like, "Don't go yet, Toshitsune, don't go." But Toshitsune was young, you know, and he got all worked up thinking he had to make his mark for the Maeda family. So what does he do? He breaks military regulations and charges out. So then everyone around him is like, "My lord, is this really okay?" And he goes, "It's fine." See, Uncle had also broken military regulations when he was young. So Toshitsune was copying what Uncle did. He figured Dad did it too and charged out. But then he fought this famous warrior called Sanada, who ruled over places like Nagano Prefecture and got absolutely crushed. What a terrible loss.
He reminds me of myself when I was young. It's both embarrassing and nostalgic, you know. By the way, I mentioned that this Toshitsune resembles me in my youth, but his childhood name was Inuchio, the very same name I was given. A childhood name, mind you, is only used when one is small, but
He was named that way because they thought he'd be able to make it big in the world.
despite all that though, he grew up to be a fine adult, and as I mentioned at the beginning, under the strict watch of the Tokugawa family, he served them faithfully. But to clear away their suspicious eyes, he carried out quite an extraordinary stratagem. Didn't he, Keiji?
He actually let his nose hair grow out and pretended to be a fool. Even in our era when people take care of their appearance, if he walked around with nose hair sticking out, making people think, oh, is that guy an idiot? The Tokugawa family figured that this house would just collapse on its own without them having to destroy it.
Oh.
So what ended up happening?
So he managed to survive the Edo period safely, you see. Sometimes played the fool to protect the Maeda family. Toshinaga! Oh my god! Toshitsune's name got mixed up with another child's name.
Since he has many sons, his uncle has quite a few children, at least 11 or more.
Since that was the day Toshitsune passed away, I want you to remember the names of my children.
That's all for. What day is it today?
BushiRaji! From the Nagoya Omotenashi Busho-tai, I am Maeda Toshiie.
The one and only Kabuki-mono, Maeda Keiji.
Jingasatai Natsu is bringing this to you. From here on, it's the podcast exclusive extended edition, if you will.
Yeah, a battle going into overtime? Is this the Battle of Kawanakajima?
Ha ha ha. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all.
No way. I've never heard of anything like overtime before, but I guess that's what happens with this new show, huh? So what's next? I suppose there's going to be some kind of battle that's different from this thing called terrestrial broadcasting, right?
And so we shall embark upon yet another battle.
From what I hear, it sounds like this podcast can be listened to over and over again.
Everything will be preserved, including all past broadcasts.
That's great. So what I'm saying is I want everyone to go back and listen to it over and over again, starting from that very first broadcast on October 4th. And from here on out, we're going to be doing all sorts of different segments, you know.
Yes, we have various plans prepared, but those of you who may have listened to previous episodes might already know this. Amazingly, these overtime segments tend to be incredibly exciting.
Oh, I was all pumped up and tense during the first half just now. But from here on out, I'm kind of feeling more relaxed now.
Want me to tell you why I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders?
Yes,
We're not really bound by time constraints. That means we can talk about whatever we want.
the gunshi. The director is nodding his head saying, good, good.
All right then. Telling a warring states general not to worry about time means we're in for a long siege battle. We're talking about 3 months of storytelling here.
That's the kind of spirit you need to talk with.
Let's get this thing going.
Yes. So then shall we get right into the segment?
Aha!
All right, let us proceed then. Next up, we have this.
Moshi Bushi!
Oh, Moshi Bushi?
Yes, this segment is our Wild Imagination Corner, where we bring you fantasy talk by reimagining our warlord's actions in modern times. What if Lord Nobunaga used social media? What if Lord Ieyasu were a company employee? And so on and so forth. We'll be exploring new sides of our warlords. Now, let the dream talk battle that transcends time begin. Today's imagination theme is this.
What if Sengoku warlords became idol otaku?
I know all about it. In this Reiwa era, there are these komachi who are tremendously popular among the people. What they call idols, right? These idol komachi. There are people right now who've made them their very reason for living. That's something, isn't it? Having that kind of purpose in life.
It's not just about good looks, but rather things like having a respectable way of life, or being someone who gives you courage just by watching them. That's what people tend to support in this world, you know.
I see, so it's an existence like myself.
You don't say a word. Ha 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 ha. They even hold idol concerts at Nagoya Castle these days, you know.
Nagoya Castle is like that too. And since Nagoya is right in the middle of East and West Japan, all kinds of singers come here to perform and dance at various venues. But what if we, Sengoku warlords, didn't become idols ourselves, but instead became otaku who support idols as reinforcements?
We're always fighting such harsh battles, aren't we? So perhaps we too find solace in idols who love the things of this world?
I get it now. This idol komachi's specialty is those called toku tenkai special events,
Tokutenkai?
where you can shake hands and take photos together, you know. I'm thinking of dropping about 1 million yen in one go at one of these events to have her all to myself.
Ah, I see. So it's the power of money, is it?
That's reassuring, isn't it?
Indeed. From that young lady's perspective, what a reassuring reinforcement this must seem. Though,
She'll definitely remember me.
So you're going to wield the power of this money then?
That's right, I'm a military commander, so with just me alone, I can cover the funding for the performance. Ha 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 ha, I'll give my full support. Well, actually, it's my uncle's money, though.
whoa!
I'm different though. But I want to become the kind of otaku who rushes out every single day, no matter if it's raining, windy, or how far away it is.
Ah, as expected, Uncle is being all samurai-like, saying he'll follow me anywhere on campaign.
That's right. Ever since I began serving Lord Nobunaga, I've never served anyone else, and I've always followed him as we moved from place to place all across Japan. Once you choose a single master to serve, you never waver from that choice. And continuing to serve that person faithfully, doesn't that fit perfectly with the otaku way of life?
Wow, that's amazing. I've served in so many different places, moving from one to another. I, Maeda Keiji, really did wander from place to place, switching from one lord to another.
You disappeared from the Maeda household, and then I thought you were gone for good, but here you are back again.
That's why I understand how these otaku feel. Earlier you mentioned how people find purpose in life or admire someone's way of living, but it works the other way too. You're supporting someone and then this person is just not quite right, you know? When it becomes a matter of, isn't this heading in a slightly different direction? They immediately stop serving them.
That's a harsh reality, isn't it?
But if you think about it in terms of the Warring States period, changing lords wasn't a bad thing at all. Someone like my uncle was actually the unusual one, and while I mentioned that I myself changed allegiances multiple times, this was extremely common back then.
By the way, who did you switch your allegiance from and to whom, my lord?
I'm from the Maeda, but you see, the Maeda family served the Oda, then the Hayashi, and after that went to the Takigawa, then to the Uesugi. We served all sorts of different houses, but when I look around, surprisingly, there are those who go to the Oda house and others who go to different houses. Could it be that folks nowadays might even serve multiple houses at once?
Absolutely.
Oh, not just one, but 2, 3 of them.
Let's serve the Oda, Uesugi, and Takeda clans, you know?
Nothing but powerful houses, all of them skilled in warfare.
Uncle, you served only the Oda clan 400 years ago. But if you could serve multiple masters now, who would you serve?
Oh, what?
I absolutely refuse to answer that question. For me, there's only the Oda clan.
He probably has places he'd like to serve.
No.
Can't you tell me?
It's not about me, though. Not me at all. But there actually was someone who served all 3 houses at the same time. The Oda, the Takeda, and the Saito family that existed in present-day Gifu. That would be the Tohyama family, who ruled over the beautiful Iwamura Castle.
That would be a castle in the mountains, wouldn't it?
I have devoted myself to Lord Nobunaga alone.
Oh.
Wahaha, you're totally tongue-tied there. You're stumbling over your words, so maybe you've got a wandering eye or something?
I may be single-minded, but that kind of thing certainly does fit our times, that's for sure.
As far as I know, Lord Akechi Mitsuhide was juggling multiple loyalties too. He was serving the Oda, Asakura, and Ashikaga clans all at the same time. I reckon us folks could probably make it as idol otaku pretty well, you know.
2 factions are formed. Those who stand just one idol, and those who love idols in general and stand various ones.
Absolutely. Even looking at how they show support, do they spend large sums of money to go on expeditions? However, when it comes to daimyo lords, rather than supporting just one favorite, there are also those who support everyone, what's called hako-oshi. I think Lord Tokugawa Ieyasu was definitely a hako-oshi type.
That's right.
You know, Tokugawa Ieyasu was the kind of person who would go to Takeda Shingen's incredibly strong retainers and say, why don't you all come work for me and just take them all in wholesale?
What?
He created a group like Takeda 48 in his own domain and ended up incorporating that into his own army.
To put it negatively, he can't make up his mind.
He can't make up his mind. Sure.
To put it nicely, it's what they call oshiing the whole group. Like, we're all gonna support each other, you know? So would it be okay if we talked about this kind of idol thing? I absolutely think Lady Oichi is the most popular one.
Lady Oichi, the younger sister of Lord Oda Nobunaga, was indeed a woman of extraordinary beauty.
It has been passed down to the Ashigaru in that manner as well.
Have you guys heard about that too?
Yes.
Even though we've never met.
Indeed, that's quite right. You see, the Ashigaru do love their gossip. I hear the generals are like this. They say the princesses are like that. One rumor leads to another, and word was that everyone in the Oda princesses was beautiful.
That's one form of oshi too, isn't it? In the modern world, it probably spreads through broadcasts like, I hear that princess over there is really cute. Maybe we should go check out her live performance.
From a slightly different angle. in connection with this talk about what if feudal warlords were idle otaku, may I tell you about a friend of mine. I have a friend named Hosokawa Yusai. To put it simply, he's an incredibly cultured and scholarly fellow. The most learned man of the entire Warring States period, but guess who he was a fan of? Natsu. Who was this feudal warlord obsessing over during the Warring States era?
Indeed, a ruler who governs the realm. Perhaps someone from the court nobility.
And get this. He was actually endorsed by the imperial court, by members of the royal family themselves.
Whoa.
That's incredible, right? He's got to be the ultimate otaku, no doubt about it.
It's absolutely unwavering now, isn't it?
We covered the Battle of Sekigahara in our October 4th broadcast, so I'd love for you to give it a listen if you get the chance. And here's the thing, in that battle, this Hosokawa Yusai found himself in quite a predicament. But then, when members of the imperial family said, "Don't pick on Hosokawa," the war just ended right there. Can you believe that? A battle, a life and death struggle, ended with just one word.
With just the single phrase, "Don't pick on him."
The battle comes to an end.
Can we say that ended peacefully?
It ended peacefully. It ended peacefully.
Unusually, this predicament was resolved with a single authoritative word. Truly unusual indeed. You see, the Hosokawa family was of high standing, having served as attendants to the Ashikaga shogun, so they possessed many precious things. Diaries that recorded court affairs and such. And then there were tea utensils. In our era, we call it chanoyu, but they owned many tea implements and treasures. If he were to die and these were lost, it would be quite troublesome. So there's a possibility that there were things even more valuable than this person himself.
It's incredible. If we're talking about people in the present world, they'd be like living national treasures, you know? I think you could think of them as that kind of figure. But while the Warring States period was like this, by the time we get to the Edo period, something like what we now call oshikatsue, fan culture, apparently starts to appear. Do you know any famous ones? Uncle?
Of course. In the early days of the Edo period, there was a court noble who was said to be Japan's most handsome man, what we'd call an ikemen today. His name was Lord Inokuma Noritoshi. This fellow was so devastatingly handsome that he was incredibly popular with all the ladies serving the nobles in the imperial court. Just walking by would send them into squealing fits. But being a fan isn't just about admiring from afar, is it? In this day and age, people want some kind of merchandise too, don't they? Those things called goods.
Ah, I see. So that's why everyone wants to get their hands on merchandise related to that person.
For example, pictures. Little picture postcards. What you'd call bromides in the modern world, I suppose. These would circulate and everyone would have them. Or in our era, everyone in the old capital would use fans. They'd paint little pictures on them and carry them around saying, "This is my boy's fan," and such. What's another important thing in oshikatsu? It's imitating their appearance.
It's about mimicking them, like becoming that person completely.
It seems this happens in the modern world too. People copying hairstyles, like so-and-so cuts and such. People would imitate the hairstyle that Inokuma wore. And then there was the pattern of the kimono he wore, the way he tied his obi sash. They called it Inokuma style. And everyone was trying to copy Inokuma's appearance.
I see. Wait a minute, that might be about me.
I'm telling you, it's not like that.
I can kind of relate to that. I also ran away from the Maeda household, had all sorts of reasons for taking off like that. When I left home, I was staying in Kyoto at the time, and I was wearing this hairstyle called Atsugami. That style where you puff it up a bit like this. Well, that hairstyle became all the rage in the capital, in Kyoto. Everyone was admiring me, Probably they all...
Really? Isn't that the other way around? Otsugami was already trending out there in the world, so didn't you just copy it?
No, I'm the one who started it, and then it became popular with everyone else. I had a lot of free time back then, so I was always walking around.
You really stand out,
Why did I stand out so much? Well, it was partly the hairstyle, but actually this old man here was riding around a big horse through Kyoto City at the time, so I was a bit of a celebrity.
Cut it out.
Well, with all due respect, do you mean that in a good way?
In a good way, but I think having someone to look up to is a great thing.
Well, that's true, indeed. This feeling of having an oshi might be an emotion that Japanese people have had since long ago. Didn't we just talk about the Edo period earlier?
Indeed. As I mentioned earlier, during the Edo period, various cultures flourished and all sorts of things emerged, and artists would draw portraits for people. So they display portraits of their beloved in their homes. You folks in the modern world have absolutely experienced this, haven't you?
How about it? Do you think there might be some?
Those listening are probably intensely...
You're getting that jolt of excitement, thinking, that's about me. This kind of thing has been going on for 300 years now. The most famous example would be kabuki actors. The traditional kabuki performers called Senryo Yakusha. The top-tier actors, Kokya, were incredibly popular, so portraits of these performers became all the rage. Even today, you see lots of people displaying hand towels and fabric with their favorites on them. But 300 years ago, they were selling tons of that same kind of merchandise. So this whole oshikatsu fan culture thing has actually been going strong for 300 years straight.
And besides, the targets of your oshi aren't limited to just people, right? There really are all sorts of things. Back in the Edo period, what became hugely popular in Japan were these Miss Emo no Goya, freak shows where they display animals. Things like camels and tigers from foreign lands, though there are stories left behind about how they'd pass off cats as tigers and such.
Really?
As I mentioned earlier, animals were also depicted in paintings and became popular, and there were even stories about being able to smell the scents of animals. Speaking of which, there's the Higashiyama Zoo and Botanical Gardens in Nagoya in the present world, right?
It's the biggest zoo and botanical garden in Japan, right there in Nagoya.
I've come across people who have given names to these animals and call them their oshi.
I got it. The Siamang's name. It's Keiji.
It's hard to say that's not the case. There are probably people out there rooting for us, you know.
I'm here. Someone who's cheering for Keiji is right here. Here, right here. It's me.
So you're saying that Maeda Keiji-sama is actually a fan himself?
He's taking on my name, you know?
Just like Keiji here, and Shabani the famously handsome gorilla, and Kiyomasa who also lends his name from our ranks, and then there's that big lizard that's become popular in recent years, the Komodo dragon. They have one named Taro or something like that. I certainly want people to find all sorts of things to support. In this modern world, there's even Oshishiro and such. You write it as favorite castle, but pronounce it Oshiro, you see. And I'm sure there are folks out there who love and support castles too.
Regardless of whether they're human or not.
That's right.
If you learn to love everything, life becomes vibrant and colorful. And with that, that wraps up our Moshi Bushi segment. BushiRaji!
From the Nagoya Omotenashi Busho-tai with Maeda Toshiie.
With Maeda Keiji.
This has been brought to you by Natsu from the Jingasa Squad.
BushiRaji. Now, it's about time for us to say goodbye.
This program is seeking Yabumi. That is to say, messages from our listeners. Recent happenings in your daily life, questions and consultations for us. Anything and everything is welcome. Send emails through the message form on our program's website. We're also awaiting posts on that thing called X. Attach the hashtag BushiRaji and tweet away with your reactions and thoughts about the show. We await your Yabumi.
Now then, let's wrap up with our traditional Tokino Koe, together with us. Toward a bright future, let's march into battle.
Oh!